If mealtimes feel like emotional hostage negotiations, just one bite please, or your toddler acts like broccoli is a personal attack, you are not alone. I'm Dr. Mona, pediatrician and mom of 2, and in this video, I'm sharing 7 simple ways to help your selective or picky eater try new foods without bribes, threats, or turning dinner into a battlefield. This isn't about forcing bites, and it's not about turning your child into a kale lover overnight. It's about trust, because mealtime should feel like connection and not conflict. Save this video for the days the pasta to the wall ratio gets high, and if you like tips that actually help, hit that subscribe button. It's more satisfying than a toddler finishing their broccoli. Let's dig in. Deep breath. Picky eating is developmentally expected, especially in toddlers and preschoolers, but that doesn't mean we can't do anything about it. It's not always the food. It might be about control, timing, texture, or just Tuesday. Think of picky eating as a detour and not a roadblock. And if your child eats some variety and is growing well, you're doing okay. If you needed that reminder, give this video a thumbs up. Every like is like a high five from another parent who's been there. Let's start with the foundation. How you show up to the table matters just as much as what's on the plate. Rule number 1, division of responsibility. You're in charge of the what, when, and where. They're in charge of the if and how much they actually eat. It sounds simple, but it's a game changer. You're setting the structure and they're learning to listen to their bodies. It's like you're the cruise director, they get to pick which activities they want to join. 2, good eaters don't eat everything. The goal here isn't raising a mini food critic who eats everything. It's about helping your child feel safe and curious around food, even if it takes time. Every adult has preferences, so we have to understand that children will also have preferences. Progress isn't about loving every food. It's about being open to the experience and curious about new foods and exploration. 3, celebrate showing up. If they come to the table without a fuss, and they used to have fuss, or they sniff a new veggie instead of launching it across the room, celebrate the wins. Think of it like leveling up in a video game. Touching, smelling, licking, every step is part of the journey. 4, model it. You don't need a lecture, just eat the food yourself. If you're trying to raise a veggie lover and you are never eating veggies, they're not being modeled it. It's less likely to be in the house, hence less exposure. And both are needed. Let them watch you crunch a carrot or enjoy your broccoli. Nonchalantly ask them if they want some, even outside of mealtimes. Kids are mirrors, constantly observing and soaking it all in, and if they see you enjoying things without pressure, they may do it too. Number 5, remove the pressure. No begging, please, please, please. No, just try it. Imagine if you are a grown-up and someone is pressuring you to eat. It rarely works. When you back off, their natural curiosity has room to grow with these foods. If these mindset shifts already feel freeing, drop a hell yes in the comments because shifting your approach changes everything. Okay, let's get into the practical stuff, the things that you can actually try at your next meal. Because let's be real, you don't need more theory. You need help with the yogurt your toddler just smeared onto a wall. Always serve a safe food. Always include something on the plate you know your child has been eating. It could be plain pasta, a slice of banana, whatever gives them that soft landing. It's their anchor in a sea of suspicious vegetables or proteins. Imagine being served 5 unfamiliar foods and being expected to dive in. A safe food says, hey, there's something familiar here too. It's a gateway to their plate and exploration. And these safe foods can change week to week. For a while, my daughter was on a full anti-protein kick, so we paired new things with her favorite, corn. Just corn. Some meals she only ate the corn. And then eventually she took the bite of the chicken, of the turkey. We modeled it, stayed chill, made it enjoyable, and she came around. Consistency and exposure win, not pressure. Use a no thank you bowl. This one's simple but powerful. A no thank you bowl gives your child a way to say, not today, without launching broccoli across the table. If they don't want the zucchini, no problem. They can pick it up and place it in the bowl. No drama, no guilt. It teaches body autonomy in a low pressure way. It also shows them how to engage with the food, even if they're not eating it. They're still interacting with it. They're touching it. That's exposure. They're still part of the process. And here's the kicker. It gives them control, which toddlers and young kids crave at the table. You're not saying you have to eat this. You're saying you don't have to eat it, but it stays on the plate or it goes into the bowl. This keeps the experience neutral, the vibe calm, and the exposure going because someday Maybe not today, maybe not next week. They might take it back out of that bowl and give it a try. And if you're like, yes, thank you to these tips already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss awesome future videos. Offer dips and condiments. Dips are like food magic. A little ranch, ketchup, hummus, or yogurt can go a long way. Honestly, if barbecue sauce gets your kid to willingly touch a green bean, we're calling that a win. It's not about masking the taste forever. It's a bridge to exploration. If your child sees their plate and they make a pouty face, I don't want to eat this, rather than saying, well, this is what you're eating, you can say, this is what we're having for dinner. Is there anything that you want to add? Do you want to add some dressing? Do you want to add some ketchup? Because this adds to their experience rather than taking away the food. And it also builds that autonomy and control piece, something that they're always craving more than just the food on the table. Keep it playful. Food doesn't have to be so serious. In fact, the more fun you bring to the table, the more likely your child is to stay at the table. Call broccoli little trees or dinosaur snacks. Pretend sweet potatoes are dragon treasure. Use cookie cutters to turn sandwiches into stars, hearts, or even dinosaurs. Let them dip, stack, mix, whatever makes it silly instead of stressful. Of course, draw the line on throwing. Kids engage with play more than pressure. So instead of just try it, come on, eat your green beans, say, can you make a mustache with your green beans? Instead of, why aren't you eating your carrots? Can we be a walrus and stick 2 carrots underneath your lip and pretend that you're a walrus? Let them copy you. Let them be playful because, again, that is the exposure to the foods they may not be eating that is the win. So yes, let them play with their food as long as it's respectful and not throwing. Playing is exploring, and exploring leads to trying. And here's a hot tip. Want to make it extra fun? Bring out kid-safe tongs or mini toothpicks for older toddlers and preschoolers. Let them serve themselves or pretend they're running a restaurant. It builds fine motor skills and food confidence, and guess what? Control. Play keeps the table light, and that's exactly what you want when things feel heavy. Involve them in the process. If you're not getting a vibe here, kids really like control. And so when they're being served food that they may not have wanted, having a choice or some sense of control can really help. This doesn't have to mean a full cooking show moment. It can be as simple as stirring pancake batter, washing berries, or picking out a veggie at the store. When kids are part of the prep, even if it's chaotic, they're more curious and more likely to try. Here's what I did when my son hit his no veggie phase at age 5. He was deep in his autonomy era, very clear about what he didn't want. So instead of pushing, I invited him in. We went to the grocery store and I didn't say a word about vegetables. I just said, hey, pick anything you want from this wall, the vegetable wall. He chose asparagus. Total curveball. We brought it home, seasoned it together, and roasted it, and he ate 1 stalk. Just 1. But that was the gateway. Trying something he picked, he helped prepare, gave him a sense of pride, and slowly the veggie resistance started to crack. Hot tip. Kids love being the taste tester while cooking. Let them sprinkle salt or pick the dipping sauce. It's messy, yes, but it's also magic. No pressure. Seriously, this one's tough and it's worth repeating again. You worked hard on dinner, you were feeling confident, and then your kid takes 1 microscopic nibble and says, I'm full. Cue the urge to say, just 1 more bite. Or come on, you liked it last week. But let me paint a picture. You're out at a restaurant with your partner, they order something for the table, you're not in the mood. And every few minutes they go, just try it. Come on, 1 bite. You'll like it, I swear. Just 1 more. Seriously, just chew it once. You'd be like, are you okay? Now imagine being 3 or 5 years old, with way less ability to say, actually, no thanks, I'm listening to my body. Here's the truth. Sometimes they don't want to eat it, sometimes they're actually full, and sometimes they just need control over their plate. Pressure backfires. Even if they eat it today, it builds tension around food tomorrow. So play it cool, serve the meal, offer what's on the table, and respect their no thank you. You're not giving up. You're giving them a chance to trust their body with exposure. Celebrate the small sensory wins. Sitting at the table when they weren't? Awesome. Touching the food when they never did? Win. Smelling it when they never would? Huge win. Licked the broccoli and gave it a side eye? You better believe that's a win. We get so caught up thinking success means a clean plate, but the real progress is slow, steady, and often invisible. The full bite may not come today, but showing up, that's a big deal. The truth is, when we treat eating everything, my kid has to be a great eater as the only win, we create pressure. And that pressure can fuel the picky cycle. Instead, shift the goalpost. Celebrate the bravery of trying, even sitting at the table without a meltdown counts. Say, thanks for showing up for dinner tonight, or I saw you touch that carrot today. That was awesome. No red carpet or confetti, just your attention and your words go a long way. Hot tip, try sensory play outside of mealtimes with textures. Let them play with paint. Let them touch sand. Research shows that this kind of exposure lowers anxiety and builds comfort with different textured foods. Again, it's play with a purpose and no pressure on the plate. Let me know in the comments which one of these tips you're most excited or even nervous to try. And hey, if you've got a creative name for a veggie, drop it in there too. I'm always looking for new dino tree upgrades. Here are a few quick reminders of what to avoid, because sometimes what not to do is just as important as what to try. Don't bribe with dessert. Framing sweets as the reward teaches kids that the main meal is just the obstacle course to get to the prize. Instead, treat dessert like any other part of the meal, neutral and not tied to performance. You don't want them growing up thinking they have to earn the dessert. Let desserts be part of the meal or come after nonchalantly, not as a reward. This could look like putting the cookie with dinner, or after dinner you bring out the cookies and say, hey, it's time for cookies. Not you're getting this cookie because you ate your dinner. We do not want to create a reward system with sweets. Don't become a short order cook. When your child protests dinner and you whip up something else on demand, it sends the message, if I refuse long enough, that person will go back to the kitchen. That turns you into their personal chef and chips away at mealtime boundaries. Instead, serve the full plate, including at least one safe food at the same time. That way they know what's for dinner from the start and still feel safe choosing what to eat without expecting substitutions. The only nuance I have to this is that sometimes you are going to be a short order cook. Sometimes I make a meal and it's too spicy for my daughter when I don't think it's spicy at all. And of course, then I will get her something else. But she'll tell me, Mama, spicy, and I'll switch it up. Don't dismiss progress. Just touching, smelling, or licking the food counts. These are the bricks that build long-term familiarity. If you only celebrate the big bites, you miss the little moments that actually matter. Name the wins out loud. I noticed you sniffed the broccoli today. What did it smell like? This is how they get familiar with foods, and again, that exposure is a win. Sometimes it's not just pickiness. It's important to pay attention to red flags like extreme distress at mealtimes, refusal of entire food groups, meaning no veggie at all, weight loss or poor growth, gagging or vomiting at the sight of food, mealtime panic or avoidance that disrupts daily life. These aren't just quirks or stubbornness. It could lead to an understanding of whether this is a sensory issue, anxiety around food, or something like ARFID, which is avoidant restrictive food intake disorders. And the truth is, no amount of ranch dressing or silly veggie names will fix that without proper support. If you're seeing these signs, talk to your clinician. They might recommend a feeding therapist, occupational therapist, or multidisciplinary feeding team who can evaluate and support your child in a way that feels compassionate and personalized. You are not doing something wrong and you are not alone. Getting help isn't giving up. It's showing up in the most powerful way. Bottom line, most picky eating is typical, but that doesn't mean we just write it out and hope for the best. Without the right support, a phase can become a pattern, and patterns get sticky. But when you bring patience, structure, and a little play to the table, you're not just getting through dinner, you're helping your child build a healthy relationship with food that lasts. Hit that thumbs up sign if this video gave you a fresh take, save it for the next beige food only day, and share it with a friend whose kid thinks ketchup is a food group. And if you want more than what I provided in this video, check out my picky eating playbook linked below. It's full of what to actually say and not to say when the peas hit the floor and so much more. And hey, remember to subscribe for more no pressure, no nonsense parenting tips served weekly, because better mealtimes aren't a myth, they're just a few bites away. I'll see you all next time. Stay well.